Good day, Amber. This is your supervisor speaking to you. You must answer immediately. You're going to the office for work tomorrow, right?
Hello there, Carlos. It's always good to hear from my boss on a day when I'm not working. Anyway, I just wanted to express my gratitude for allowing me to take the day off to attend my mother's burial. It meant a lot to me, and I felt compelled to be there.
Amber, I don't need you groveling. I simply need you to show up at the office tomorrow and get back to work, okay?
Actually, if that is okay, I was expecting to be able to take a little more time off to thoroughly process everything that has transpired.
You know what I mean? I thought I told you I'd let you work evenings and take time off from work until the funeral was over. Isn't it over now? I'm not sure what sort of game you're trying to play with me right now, but if you think I'll let you get away with not doing any more work, you're mistaken.
But I still have unutilized bereavement leave days. Don't I have the right to use the vacation days stipulated in my contract? I thought we could take up to 7 days off work if one of our immediate family died. I should have 2 days left. Thank you, sir. All I ask is for those final 2 days so that I can fully grieve my mother now that the funeral has concluded. Besides, because the funeral just concluded, I still have a lot on my mind, documents to sign, and a slew of other stuff that they don't tell you about that comes after someone dies. I simply believe that if I show up tomorrow, I will be ineffective as an employee.
I see. So, given the gravity and rarity of the circumstance, I'll let you take the rest of your time off. But only for this one time. Man, you must consider yourself fortunate to have such a considerate and understanding boss, don't you? What would you do without me?
Thank you so much, Carlos. That means more to me than I can express.
Yes. But please understand that when you return, I will be writing you about all of the work you missed while taking so much time off. There is no such thing as a free lunch, youngster.
Amber, are you still working at this hour?
Hello, Wendy. Yeah, I'm sorry for always having to stay late. I'm going to start heading home, and I should be back shortly.
I see. I truly wish you didn't work so late. I'm tired of staying up so late waiting for you.
I don't mind if you go to bed before I come home because I'm just leaving the workplace. It might be a while before the last bus of the night arrives for me. I'm sure you're exhausted as well.
Thank you very much. I'm thinking of doing it. But first, I'd like to ask, don't you find it odd that you have to work so late every day just because you took some time off to grieve? Shouldn't some of your coworkers have picked up some of your responsibilities while you were away?
You are correct. Despite the fact that I had to take time off unexpectedly, everyone was gracious enough to pick up my work without complaint or ill will. But when I do go to the workplace, I always have to remain until I am the last person there. To top it all off, I'm always kept very busy right until the end, attempting to meet all of these piled-up deadlines.
Amber, you're not just doing Carlos's work, are you?
What exactly do you mean?
Well, I just think Carlos has had it out for you for quite some time now. Do you suppose that when you were gone, he didn't let anyone else do your work for you, and that's why you're always playing catch-up?
Actually, now that you mention it, when I returned to the office, both my coworkers and my boss all apologized to me.
I knew it. And, despite the fact that he is the business president, Carlos was gracious enough to attend your mother's burial, but he kept using language that he should have known better not to use at a funeral. It just doesn't sit well with me. You don't see anything strange about that?
So you're saying that you believe he said all of those things on purpose and that it wasn't a fluke or something?
I'm just stating that I don't see how it could be any other way. I apologize for bringing up your workplace, but I believe that since Carlos came over, there have been a lot of pretty awful developments.
Wow, that's obvious even to someone who doesn't work here, isn't it?
I believe you have become increasingly anxious with your work since Carlos became president. You can't tell me you're not upset about how he treated you at the time and even now, after your mother's funeral, can you? Aren't you disappointed with how Carlos treats you? However, your sister has now calmed down regarding the inheritance issue. But you must be physically and psychologically fatigued, and even if you don't recognize it, it is obvious.
Wendy, you are wonderful. Sometimes I just need that objective third-person perspective on my life to point out what's wrong and how I should strive to fix it. Thank you very much, love, for always being there for me. Without you, I couldn't do half of what I do.
Naturally, honey. It is always my pleasure to attempt to assist you. But I wouldn't claim I'm completely objective. Of course, I'm simply keeping an eye out for you. Anyway, have you given any attention to what we discussed the other day?
What may it be?
It's simply that my father has developed a genuine interest in you, you know? And I just believe it's a waste of your ability and time to work for someone who will never realize how hard you work or how excellent of an employee you are.
Thank you once more, Wendy. Even when I don't believe in myself, you always believe in me. I can't offer you a specific response right now, but I can assure you that I am really considering it in the future.
I'm sure you are, sweetie. You've got this. If you ever doubt yourself, just trust in the me who believes in you.
You're correct, baby. Anyway, I'm nearly home now. We'll talk again shortly.
See you soon, my love.
Hello, Amber. Have you been keeping yourself occupied lately? Is it that you're still reeling from your mother's death? You really need to clean up around here. Not only has your work quality deteriorated, but you're also working overtime every day. Oh. I understand. I know what's going on and why you're so down.
Good day, Carlos. The reason I've been doing so much overtime is that the quantity of work that I've had to perform seems to have increased since I went on bereavement leave. I suppose it has harmed my performance because I have no breathing room when catching up. And are you saying there's no other reason someone can be mourning their own mother, the person who reared them from birth?
I'm not saying anything, so don't try to put words in my mouth, okay? Anyway, I was just interested if you hadn't previously noticed that you've actually lost another very important person in your life.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure who or what you're talking about right now.
I see. Don't worry, you'll get there shortly. I'm certain of it. I can't wait to find out. I am certain of it. Hello, Amber. You guessed it. I have some exciting news.
Hello once more, Carlos. What kind of excellent news do you have?
It's excellent news for me, but I'm not sure you'll feel the same way about it.
Yes, I see. Is there anything recent that I should be aware of?
Since I doubt you'll ever guess what I'm talking about, I'd better spell it out for you. I managed to get your wife pregnant with my child.
Please excuse me. I'm not sure I understand.
Have you realized she's already 3 months pregnant?
I'm sorry, but I have no idea what you were saying right now.
Didn't I tell you about 2 months ago? I warned you you'd realize who else you'd lost shortly. But I bet you haven't yet. You were so preoccupied with your sad dead mother that you didn't know I'd taken your partner from beneath you.
And that partner you're referring to is my wife?
Amber, you're finally understanding it. Actually, if I'm being honest, the first time she and I hooked up was while you were on leave for your mother's funeral. If I had to guess, I'd say the kid is from around that time period.
I see. Is that all?
Is that all? Is that the only answer you have to me telling you that I stole your wife? Oh, I see what's up with you. You're stunned. Your jaw must be on the floor as all you thought you knew crumbles around you. It makes no difference. You know, no amount of stress or crying will change the truth of what has occurred. I've had my eye on you since my dad took over this place. And, Amber, I have to be honest. I've never been really fond of you. I pledged that if the opportunity presented itself, I would hurt you. That's why Dillies and I are planning to have a child together.
But wait. Sorry, are you referring to Dillies?
Yes. That's correct. That is the name of your wife. Or did you forget it in your shock? She was very simple. All I had to do was tell her I was the company president, and the rest was easy. I didn't even have to make an attempt with her.
I see. And would you mind telling me when you last saw Dillies?
You may not like what you hear, but we just saw each other earlier today.
I get what you mean. I only need to confirm a couple of things you said. I'll get back to you soon.
Of course. Take as much time as you need. Nothing will change what I've done.
Hello there, Carlos. I really apologize for keeping you waiting. I just needed to look into what you were saying.
Oh, see who has decided to crawl back for me. You mean it took you 2 hours to figure out if I was telling the truth or not? I'd have assumed that if you just asked Dillies, she'd tell you the truth. That she is pregnant with my child.
Is it safe to presume you're willing to assist her with the costs of the divorce?
Naturally, I will pay. For me, it will be a paltry pittance. I have lots of cash to spare. After all, that is one of the benefits of being the business president.
Okay, I think that settles it. You can have her.
At the very least, it appears that you have finally accepted the truth of what has occurred.
Yes, of course. I also informed Dillies' husband of what had occurred.
Who is Dillies' husband? What do you mean? Are you insane? You're Dillies' hubby.
No, sir. I'm afraid there's a major misunderstanding here. Dillies is my elder sister.
Is she your sibling?
My real wife, by the way, is 8 months pregnant. You can rest assured that the youngster is not yours. My sister is a bit flashy and enjoys being the center of attention. That's how she drew your attention at the funeral, and I'm guessing you just believed she was my wife.
Are you serious right now?
Of course, this would be a simple error to make. And now I see why my sister eventually calmed down about the inheritance after making such a huge deal out of it before the burial.
Do you mean your mother's inheritance?
Yes, but bear with me while I explain. My family is not particularly affluent. My father, like everyone else, worked a regular job till he died a few years ago. Meanwhile, my mother was able to live nicely on her pension checks alone. Anyway, for that reason, I suppose, Dillies was mistaken about how much money they actually possessed.
Is that right?
But, returning to my main issue, my sister took out a large debt last year.
Your sister is in debt?
And, in any case, she took out the loan, claiming that she would repay it once her mother died and she received her inheritance.
So, how huge is this loan?
She took out $4 million to try to create a poodle-only pet grooming shop. She refused to let any other dogs into the store.
She paid $4 million to build a pet boutique that only sold one kind of dog?
To be honest, I had done everything I could to forget about the whole thing, but when the subject of inheritance came up, she became flustered and angry towards the rest of us. Then I knew she was going to drag out the discussions for as long as she could in order to acquire the most for herself. Anyway, I'm guessing she ran into you at the burial and drew you in because of them. I'm sure she was eager to continue with you once you said you were the business president. With a title like that, she probably saw you as nothing more than a walking ATM machine to help her pay off all of her obligations. I only say that because later that day, she returned to the family, declared that she no longer needed the inheritance, and just walked away, leaving all of us to figure out what had changed.
What do you mean? Did you really just refer to me as a walking ATM?
Oh, and I just heard Dillies took out another large loan.
What?
Last I heard, it was for about $10 million.
Your sister took out a $10 million loan?
I guess she and the bank didn't learn their lesson from the poodle grooming shop. It appears like round 2 is on the way. Anyway, that totals approximately $10 million. I'm as amazed as you are that she was able to obtain that much information, but I'm delighted you're here to assist her.
Please wait a moment. If that's the case, I'm just going to leave Dillies. It's not like I like her in the first place.
Do you believe that will work?
I had no idea she was that kind of lady. And now that I know you're not even married, this whole thing seems useless. So you tell her she has to repay the money right away.
What do you mean? Of course, you cannot just refund the loan she has recently obtained.
Why not? Didn't she just take it back?
And, after all, didn't you say Dillies was pregnant with your child?
Oh my God. What am I to do?
Oh, I just received some communications that you might find interesting. Allow me a moment to tell you what they said.
What are you on about now?
I recently learned that I had been picked to take over as president of my father-in-law's company. Anyway, I suppose I have a lot to prepare for before then, so I'm going to take the rest of the month off.
What exactly did you say to me?
Of course, I'm very sorry to have to do this to you. I'm sure I'm causing you some problems, but I'm afraid this is my 2-week notice.
Please wait a moment. We're not finished yet. You can't just leave me like that.
I suppose it is your responsibility to distribute notices of my departure, correct?
Hold on! If you quit, you will be unable to meet all of the deadlines that you were supposed to be working on.
Don't worry, I've left clear instructions on what has to be done. I'm confident you can manage it.
We're not done yet. What about your sister? Are you her brother? So, why aren't you assisting her with her debts?
To be absolutely honest, my sister and I don't get along, and I have no intention of bailing her out of the disaster she has created for herself.
But,
It's just not in my nature to break the rules, I guess. In fact, if it hadn't been for the question of my mother's legacy, I doubt Dillies would have attended her funeral.
but she is her mother.
Anyway, I need to start packing and preparing for the move. I'm going now.
Wait! Hello, Amber. I am your superior. You can't simply disregard me like this. Amber.
Good day, Bevis. Do you have a moment to talk? There's something I believe we should discuss.
Esther, how are you doing? Yes, of course. What is the problem?
So, it appears that you left before sorting the materials I assigned to you. But the point is, we wanted that done before tomorrow's meeting. I just texted you to see why you're back so early. Was there an emergency?
I'm sorry, but I don't discuss work outside of work hours. It's one of my personal rules. And, since I've already left the workplace, I won't be replying to any work-related questions. Thank you for your understanding.
I apologize, but this is work that you should have completed today that is now causing problems for the rest of us. I'm just curious as to why you departed without informing anyone or completing your duties. I know you've had a negative attitude toward the rest of your coworkers since you got here. But just because you don't like your coworkers doesn't mean you may leave without saying anything.
This entire situation sucks.
Please excuse me? What do you mean?
Why should I have to do that, huh? That's a real annoyance.
What precisely do you mean? This is just plain basic sense. I don't think what I'm bringing up here is very unusual.
What about common sense? Okay, fine. So, I think you and I have very different ideas about what common sense is, okay? Furthermore, everyone is unique. Perhaps you are the one who has no concept of common sense.
Bevis, I doubt you don't see my point because you have a different common sense. Anyway, we've already extinguished all of the fires you left for us here, so we can put this conversation on hold for now. But, please understand, I don't want to have this conversation with you again from now on.
Please excuse me. Who do you think you are, talking to me in that manner? Do you really think it's a good idea for you to take that tone with me?
And what exactly does that imply?
It implies that you shouldn't be so arrogant when speaking with me. Just a thought. However, ignoring my advice will only serve to harm you in the long run.
Are you seriously attempting to threaten me right now? Look, as our group leader, I have the authority to speak to you in that manner when necessary. That is, it is my responsibility to monitor those who report to me. This includes handling instructions and penalizing staff when they are not followed.
Look, I'm just warning you that, for your own sake, you should stop talking to me like this.
Look, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you do realize that within the company structure, and specifically our area, you have been placed under my supervision, right? That is, as your supervisor, I want orders and assignments to be completed. And you, as a subordinate, are expected to complete the tasks allocated to you.
Well, the feeling is mutual because I have no idea what you're trying to say right now.
Excuse me?
You see, I'm not just some office drone, okay? I'm expecting tremendous things. And I'm not going to be told what to do by an elderly lady like you. So, if you can grasp that, why don't you keep arranging your stuff and stop coming to me with ridiculous complaints like this? Got it?
What exactly is going on here? I have no idea what you're on about or why you're acting so confrontational right now. And what do my age or gender have to do with any of this? Let me attempt to simplify things for you. In the business world, there are supervisors and those they supervise. I'm the first, and you're the second. Unless this is your way of telling me you don't want to do your job?
No, to be honest. I don't want to do any work.
Are you kidding me?
After all, I was hired through family ties. So, in my case, it makes no difference whether I work or not. In the end, I'll be the CEO either way.
You're spewing stuff that I can't understand right now.
Let me simplify things for you. I'm going to be the CEO of this company one day, therefore you should be careful how you talk to me. I mean, you're almost 30 and still not married. You don't seem to have much going for you if you lose your job, huh?
Do you realize how far you've strayed right now?
What exactly are you on about? I'm simply stating the obvious. I think I've been quite nice to you. I'm merely trying to warn you and give you some kind advice. I'm only trying to make you realize that you shouldn't bite the hand that's going to feed you.
Wow, I don't even know where to begin to describe how insane you are right now. Anyway, this chat has deviated so far from the original reason I messaged you. Simply do the tasks that have been allotted to you and do not leave your work unfinished.
Otherwise, what? Will you try to make me work extra hours if I don't finish? Are you certain you want to go one step further and add something else to the list of things I'll reimburse you for?
If you are having difficulty completing all of your tasks within working hours, please come chat to me, your supervisor, about it. I understand that you are new to this organization and that there may be many things you are unfamiliar with. So please think about what I've said here. There are some ground rules that you must obey from now on.
As if that's going to make me listen to you.
Are you serious? You truly want to take this farther, don't you?
I've already explained it. I don't require a job to advance in this position. I have relatives in positions of power here. I'm speaking directly to the CEO. So I don't think I need to waste my time following orders from an unmarried old crow like you. Ultimately, whether you like it or not, I'm going to be your boss. So, either start brown-nosing now or face the repercussions later.
Okay. This chat has concluded. I have already completed the documents that you were supposed to complete. Just remember to do your own work from now on.
In the first place, you should have been performing my work for me. Perhaps if you hadn't wasted your time chatting to me about this worthless stuff, you could have gotten all that paperwork done faster.
I'm not sure why I even attempted. This time, goodbye for real.
You have nothing else to say to me because you already know I'm correct. You're a fantastic boss. You can't take even minor criticism or pushback. It appears that I am the true victor here.
Could you kindly quit wasting time at work, Bevis? The remainder of our group is very serious about our duties in this project. And you are aware that this project is not limited to our division. It is a component of a much broader project on which our entire firm is engaged. I'm just curious as to why you've been acting so ridiculously when it comes to assisting on this project. You left the office to go home yet again without alerting anyone that you hadn't accomplished the work allocated to you. You realize how this affects the rest of the squad, right?
I'm not working because it's tedious and I don't want to.
Is this truly what we're doing?
Because, no matter how many times you remind me how important this idiotic project is, I'm going to go home whenever I want.
Okay, and I'm wondering whether you understand how taking that attitude to work has a detrimental impact on project success and team morale.
Why bother showing up at work if you're not going to do any work? Why did we have to have the same argument over and over? I've already stated that I come here because I have family ties here. All I have to do is punch in and punch out and my entire future is secure. Perhaps someone like you just doesn't get it. But the busy task you've assigned me is more suited for peons and office drones rather than a future CEO.
Are you saying that you intend to continue leaving work to go home whenever you want, while not accomplishing any of the work that I assigned to you?
Yes, it is correct. I'll do anything I want, whenever I want. I warned you that you should have just left me alone, but you're only making things worse for yourself at this point.
What exactly does that mean?
It means that if you refuse to get off my back, you'll be the first person I fire once I take over this place.
Threats again?
It's not a threat, but rather a promise from the company's future CEO. I acquired this job through my family, and I'm going to get to the top through the same connections.
And I'm not afraid to fire anyone who stands in the way of my plans. Unfortunately, the current CEO is my father.
Oh, really?
You keep mentioning how you obtained this job because you know the CEO, correct? But I doubt it. I had already asked my father about the problem, and he had no idea what you were on about. He told me that he had met your parents once or twice, but had nothing good to say about them. And he said he didn't hire you as a favor to them. He just remembered who you were and that he had met your parents before you started causing trouble. But, aside from that, he never gave you a second thought after signing the papers to hire you.
Hold for a second, what are you talking about now? You mean to tell me your father is the CEO?
That's exactly what I stated.
And you're serious?
Yes. Totally serious. And I'm not the type of person to brag about company relationships. On the other hand, I never saw myself working here just by the grace of people I know. I work hard every day so that no one believes I'm merely following in my father's footsteps. But I believe I'm working too hard, because even you aren't aware that you're bragging about being the next CEO because of your ties with the CEO's stepdaughter. I mean, what were you thinking when you acted the way you did?
No, it wasn't what I was doing. I just didn't realize you were the CEO's daughter. Nobody told me. How was I to know?
Upper management is, of course, aware of who I am and who my father is. But it's not something I brag about or flaunt.
So you're serious about all of this?
Of course I'm serious. What would I gain from lying to someone like you? By the way, how long did you intend to use that foolish lie? Insisting to everyone that your connections had put you in line to become CEO? Or did you truly think that was going to happen to you? What prompted you to believe that in the first place?
I just believed it would be best for me to tell folks.
Is that your justification for everything? You simply made up a tale to tell people in order to avoid performing the work that you didn't want to complete. Was this all a fabrication to keep you from accomplishing anything while you were here? Did you truly believe that was going to work? I'm honestly curious. I mean, what do you think the purpose of a job is?
No. Of course, that was not my intention. Just please. Don't tell me you already told your father about everything.
Of course. He's already aware of what you've been up to here.
Oh no, this is terrible. That is to say, you informed the CEO. Will you also report on this discussion?
Of course.
Come on. I know I wasn't always the most respectful, but you don't need to report me to the CEO just because of that. To be honest, it appears to be a personal vendetta.
Do you really believe I'm the type of person who can't separate my personal and professional lives? I'm going to write down a detailed description of your attitude toward working here. It will be factual and objective, and I will write it without regard for my personal sentiments for you. And I'm not going to give it to my father in the first place. It is not his responsibility to deal with such issues. I will, however, file the aforementioned report to Human Resources.
Wait! Please wait while I explain. What is there to report? I haven't even done anything.
Yes, you have done nothing. Particularly your own job.
No. That wasn't my intention.
Are you really going to try to make excuses for not doing anything that I've assigned to you? Do you realize I'm the next CEO in line? You know, if you try to disobey me, I have the authority to fire you. So tell me, what does my useless employee have to say about himself?
What? Me? I'm not useless.
Of course you are. Do you understand how much worry and trouble you've caused not only me but also the rest of our team? When you refused to complete your task, it was up to the rest of us to pick up the slack and shoulder your duties on top of our own. We all had to cover for you and finish everything on time.
Yes. Yes, of course. You're entirely correct. I can clearly see my mistake now. I never intended to cause you or the team any problems, and I sincerely apologize for any confusion I may have caused.
So you can't speak decently when you want to?
Yes, of course. When you get to know me, you'll notice that I'm actually a quite good guy.
It's simply that you've always been a pain to communicate with up until now. I had no reason to think you could do anything else. So, do you believe it was proper for you to speak to me in the way you did in our previous conversations?
No, I don't. I didn't mean any of it.
Aren't you just full of excuses and half-hearted apologies today? But I'm curious, what was your purpose in telling everyone that you were the next CEO? What, after all, was the point? Did you really want to utilize it to avoid doing any of your work?
That's all I can say. I just assumed that if they thought I was going to be the future CEO, they would think I was cool.
What? Is that the only reason you did it? Wow. Nobody thought you were cool for saying that. Furthermore, the new CEO has been determined for some time.
What? What do you mean? Who is it?
I told you previously. It's me. The individual you've gone out of your way to despise since you started working here. So, I'm afraid to announce that your odds of ever becoming the company's CEO are nearly none. Even if you did have the opportunity, my fiancé is the president of our parent firm. I doubt he'd agree to you being CEO on his watch.
Wait. Rewind a little. You've got a fiancé?
Yes, it is correct. Do you have any thoughts, Bevis? After all, you used to make a big deal out of the fact that I'm almost 30 and yet unmarried. But then again, I suppose you never knew what you were talking about in the first place. Although everyone in the office knows Conal and I are engaged.
Wait. Why is it that everyone except me is aware of this?
Other members of our team have discussed it and have attempted to inform you of it, but you are always on your phone during meetings. I suppose you just ignored them anytime they tried to tell you. That's why no one has bothered to talk to you recently. What's the point if you're not going to pay attention to anything they say?
You really mean it. People have been avoiding me? Is that what's been going on?
Had you really never noticed before? Besides, who wants to talk to the new worker who doesn't bother completing his task and refuses to learn anything about his job? If you think about it, it's not that tough to figure out.
No way. I sincerely apologize. You're not required to say that. I beg you. I pledge to work hard and to make a change. Just don't tell your father, fiancé, HR, or anyone else. I'll get fired if this gets out.
Well, even if I believe you deserve to be dismissed, it is not guaranteed. But, like any other employee, I will follow our company's policies and report you to Human Resources.
I'm terribly sorry. Please. You must pardon me.
You should start taking your job more seriously now. Because I don't believe you have even one person on your side right now. Good luck with this without any friends. Bevis proceeded to apologize excessively to Esther after that. He even apologized to the rest of his team and some other employees in the workplace, allowing him to avoid being dismissed. He began to take his job more seriously and began to tighten his grip on the tasks allotted to him. But he couldn't even execute his job correctly because he never cared to study about what he was supposed to be doing for work when he was being trained. He became something of a walking joke around the office. Bevis felt the pressure and couldn't take the mental strain of the situation. He eventually quit his work. Bevis is now seeking for a new job, but he is having no luck. We can only hope that wherever he ends up this time, he takes it more seriously.
Hey Robert, can we have talk? It's a very important thing that your mom bothers me every single day by texting and calling me.
I am not trying to complain or anything, but I just want notice you about her. Are you there?
Hi, what's wrong? It's my lunchtime, so I just can give you a little time. Don't beat around the bush.
Yes, your mom keeps asking me when we're going to have children. Not always in the nicest way possible. I guess that you knew your mom clearly. That's the point.
So, what? Just tell her what she wanted to know. I think it's not a big problem that you have to told me and waste my valuable time. I just have only 1 hour for lunch and you're wasted.
But you know how persistent she's being. She wasn't like this before, was she?
It seems like she's in a race against the clock or something.
My mom is fine as far as I know, but I don't know why you're acting so surprised like this is the first time you saw her like that. And all she asked is normal cause you know, it's 5 years since we gotten married and we still don't have any baby. She's just worried for us. She just wants to meet her grandkids.
But your mom told me to go to some strange hospital with no certificate of inspection. She told me to drink something and said after I drunk it, we will have baby. I knew why she did that and I have done what she said.
So why you keep wasting my time like this? Do what mom told you if you want to see our son soon.
You know, children don't actually come by stork, right? They don't just drop out of the sky.
But she asks me like every week about how it's going. You know, for some people, even asking about that could be considered rude. I feel like I'm being taken hostage or something. I can't even rela in my day-to-day life because I'm worried about when your mom is going to call and chastise me again.
My mom just wants to see her grandchild before she kicks the budget. And here you are, demonizing the poor woman all just because you can't pregnant. That's really low.
No, I'm not saying that. You need to listen carefully before you claim anything. I just want her to know this isn't some overnight thing. It's take planning and consideration.
No, from the way you saying this, you are definitely blaming to mom. I know she can a little bit overbearing, but of course you're the reason she's badgering you so much. This whole problem stems from the act that you are having a hard time getting pregnant.
Is that what you think? I have to say, it doesn't really make me feel any better.
I'm not trying to blame you anything, I'm just trying to analyze the situation. Why don't you try going to a clinic or something? That's it! Or at least you can show mom that you're serious about it. That'll get her off your back.
I feel like you haven't considered that possibility that the problem might be on your side. Making a baby need the effort from two of us, not only me.
Let me think. No! How can I be the problem? Just think about it for a sec, lol. The one who can get pregnant, carries the child, and the ultimately aborts the child is women. Where in that equation do you see me? Hate to break it to ya, but it's all your job.
Haha, I think you forgot 7th grade health class. It's not like woman can get pregnant on her own. It takes two to tango. I'd like you to go to the hospital with me. Then we can both get tested and put this behind us. You know that, you have drunk every single day after work for 5 years.
So I am sure that your health have problem.
Why I have to go there with you? I'm actually busy with work and stuff. You know, the thing that keeps us alive. You're the housewife, so you have too much time, so just go by yourself.
Of course I can do that, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I have to go to the hospital for many times, but they can't find any problem on my side. If that's the case, we can just go together, get it over with, and put it behind us.
Why are you so insistent that I get checked? It'd just be a waste of time and money for me to go. Seeing gal you just sit at home all day, I don't think you value time and money the way breadwinner like me does.
Oh, you even don't care about what I do during the time you go to work. We can have a nice life together alone. I don't mind if it's just the two of us.
What are you talking about? You know how dead set that one man is on meeting her grandkid. Now you said we should just give up, stop trying.
No, don't get me wrong. I didn't say we have to give up or stop trying or whatever. All I said is the worst case come to pass that I'm here for you and I want you to be there for me. Even then, if we really want a child, there are other methods, too. We can adopt, or have implantation or whatever it is.
But it's not our child. There is no point. I am going to be stuck raising someone else's brat.
I just want to tell you, if we can't have a child, then it's not the end of the world.
So you need to go to the hospital and stop wasting my time, please.
Why, you are just put everything on me. Do you love me, Robert?
Stop asking nonsense question. I need to go to work now. See you soon. Go to the hospital and notice me the results when you got it. The next day.
Hey Robert, I just got the results and no, not a single problem. Everything is in tip-top shape. The doctor said I am completely healthy and I have no problem with pregnancy.
Great! That's good to hear. I guess that means that our timing hasn't matched or something.
Well, I'm sure that can't be an issue because we have been at it for 5 years. After all this time, is likely that something is working as it should. It's time for you to get your test.
What? Why do I have to get tested? There's nothing wrong with me. Are you sure the doctor wasn't just some quack? At any rate, going to the clinic and everything is a huge pain. Let's just forget about it.
No, Robert, the whole reason we're doing this is because of your mother. You said that you'd go when you got the time.
Yes, but now I don't have any free time. I work like a DOD to keep food on the table and a roof over your heads. If you want to be homeless, I'll go test this.
Don't make a reason. You were serious about going. You could and arrange time for it. At least you should spend time for me.
Oh, here we go. Just get mad and start blaming everyone else, like always. Maybe this why we son have a kid yet. You pester me so much, how could I even get in the mood? And for your information, getting enough sleep is essential for good health and hanging out with my friends is important for my mental health. I have a cup of beer or wine just to relax and it doesn't cause any disease.
I know going out with friend is a good thing and I agree with you, but using nicotine is harmful for your health. Do you actually know what effects it can cause to your health? And maybe it can lead to infertility.
Now you tell me not to meet my friend? That's possible.
You don't have to cancel on your friends or anything. Just make an appointment and go to the doctor first.
It's such a pain though. I have to suffer at the office every day. I won't go to the doctor. There's nothing to say here. Don't waste my time anymore.
Fine. Don't. I don't care. I am doing all this for you and your mother. I don't need a kid if that's how you're going to act. And you even don't love me. I can see it clearly.
Now you say you don't want to have a kid?
Yes, just because of your attitude. I married you because I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you, even we have a kid or not. I'm fine just being with you. That's what I decided when I took my vows.
Haha, if that's how you feel, I guess there's no helping it, lol.
So you agree to have no kid?
Yes, I do. I don't care.
But how about your mom? She called me every single day. Is it okay to tell her that we didn't want a kid?
Tell her. What, I do care. No, but in all seriousness, I kinda forgot about that. I think kid is not the worst thing in the world. All of this is a real pain in the neck, but I guess at the end of the day I still want one.
The problem is about your health, so if you don't want a kid, explain it to your mom. Or if you do want, then go to the hospital and get tested.
Okay, I will go to the doctor next time I am off.
Really? Great. Do you want me to make an appointment for you, or will you handle it?
Yeah, I pretty much have to go. You're rentless. I could bear after honey or something, lol. I can see it already. If I don't go now, you're just going to end up harping on me forever. I can't handle that. I'll start dreading my day off instead of enjoying them.
How am I the bad guy in all of this? All I did was tell you my own opinion.
Oh right, you're just a victim. Saying you don't need kids, but then you bring up my mom. Don't play innocent, you're just trying to guilt trip me into going. If honesty and sincerity don't work, just manipulate them, right? You can end the game. I said I'll go, so just drop it already.
You don't have to make it sound like I'm twisting your arm. I'm giving you a choice, even though your mom didn't give me the same courtesy.
After a few weeks.
I got tested because you and my mom won't stop writing me about it.
Isn't it you who wants them? You say it's to make your mom a grandmother, but I think you want a kid for yourself. That's why I said I'd even go as far as going for infertility treatment if need be. I'm doing everything in my power to make it happen. But now you're blaming me and your mom?
Yes, I had a happy, peaceful life before this whole baby thing. I can't focus on my work at this point. Why are women so obsessed with babies? I just took a test because I want to shut you and my mom up and reclaim some sliver of sanity in this relationship.
Fine, good, great. Let's end you here. After a week.
Hey Lucy, before I went to work I put some papers at the table. Let's read and give me a sign.
Oh, I have read it. I don't remember doing something that warranted a divorce.
I just figured there's no point in being with a woman who can't pregnant, that's all. A woman who can't have a kid is broken goods. There's no point in keeping junk around. Do out you go, lol.
What? You're calling me rubbish now? Okay, what's going on? What are we even talking about here? You know the problem is not from my side.
I can guarantee there are no problems with me, lol.
You even haven't looked at the results the doctors send to you. How can you said that?
You want to know? Okay, here are big news. It's my girlfriend is pregnant, lol.
What? What do you mean? Your girlfriend?
You know, the trash is falling apart, lol. But seriously, do you need me to spell it out for you? Since you can't pregnant, my mom started to take matters into her own hands. She introduced me to some of her friends' daughter. She's a real cutie.
What's happening here? There is no way people can do something like that. Did you knock up some random girl and how you're trying to pin the blame on your mom or something?
No, she really introduced us. She wanted a grandchild more than I thought, lol. We've been dating for a month and I will marry her after divorce with you. And you can see, the whole problem is about you because I have a baby with another girl. Sign the papers and you'll get your cut. And in exchange, pack up your things and get out. We want to start our life together immediately.
You're serious, right?
There is no prank here. I'm being completely serious. I found someone who will finally give me a child and you and I are through. You have 3 days to pack things and clear out.
I can't believe you can easily betray me like that. What a waste of my age. I can't believe your mom was in on it, too. I guess scum doesn't crawl too far from the bog.
It's very easy to understand. You can't pregnant although you lived with me 5 years. But see, another girl just need 1 month. You are the one who betrayed us. We both treated you well and gave you a good life, and all you have to do is have a baby and keep mom happy.
The only thing your mom saw in me was my young ovaries? You have got to be kidding.
After all, I was the talk of the office for a while. Everyone was jealous because I have just gotten a hot and young new wife.
How can you say those things to me? Don't you feel bad about any of this?
I would, but I'm too busy living in the real world.
I truly love you, you know. How do you think being told your husband just married you just because you're pretty? I can't believe you just proposed to me because of my age and your mom's obsession. And on top of everything, you cheat on me and get another girl pregnant?
Oh, cut of act. Don't act like some kind of saint. I know you just married me for my money. Quit blaming everyone else for your actions. Are you a child? Give me a break. I have told all thing I wanted you to know.
Why can I marry a man like you? At the end, I still didn't understand what you and your mom done with me. Okay, I will leave the house as soon as possible. After 5 years.
Hey, have we just passed by each other on the street? So who is the man walk with you? And the baby? Is he your husband or someone?
Yes, he's my husband and my daughter. We're family.
What? But you can't pregnant.
What, you pretend to talk with me? Everything is over. I didn't want to talk with you anymore. I think that you got a bad result for your new wedding and so that you're finding me, right?
Yes, that girl married me just because of my money and the baby is not my son. That the son of her old boyfriend. I saw him didn't look alike me and then I take the ADN test. I am so disappointed when I received the result and also I got tested. Because I drank too much so I didn't have ability to have a baby.
That's the things I can imagine. But everything can't change now. I have a family and now I am so happy. I hope you can find the one who's really love you. Goodbye.
Good to hear you happy. Thank you. And I also want to say thank you to you because all you sacrificed for me.
Hey, Daisy. Is everything okay? How did your dad's funeral go? Did everything run smoothly?
Yeah. We just finished. A lot of people came, so I was happy about that. I think Dad would have been happy to see all his friends. But it would have been better if you were able to come. He would have wanted you there.
I'm really sorry, Daisy. I tried my best, but I couldn't get the day off from work. My boss was being so unreasonable. But anyway, there's something that I want to talk to you about. Is now a good time?
Oh, you want to talk?
It's about the house that your dad was living in. Well, now that he's gone. And there's no one that's gonna live there now, right? I think it would be a good idea to sell that house and use that money to buy a new place. We could get a nice big place and live with my parents.
What? You want to sell my dad's house and you want us to live with your parents? I'm not sure how I feel about that, but you can't just decide that on your own.
Daisy, we can't just keep renting. We need to have our own apartment one day. And now is a good time. We should buy a house now while the market is still good.
But we never talked about it before. Like I said, that isn't something that only you got to decide.
But it involves my parents. As their only child, I get to decide what we do for them.
Sure, but I gotta stay in my own house. Besides, you're talking about my dad's house.
Yeah. Both of your parents are dead now. My parents are still alive and I want to spend as much time with them as I can.
Don't you know what you're talking about, Phil? You're talking about selling childhood home here. At the very least, you could have considered moving your parents in there first. Why do we have to sell it and buy a new place? You don't even want to get another house but an apartment. Is that even good for our future?
I said I wanted to live with my parents. Your dad's house is big enough and it's nice, but the location is very inconvenient. It's too far from work. We can buy an apartment closer to the city. And it'll be big enough for my parents to live with us too. Doesn't that sound good? Just wait and see. You'll come around too.
But what about me and what I want?
What's wrong with living with my parents? Like they say, the more the merrier.
God, I'm so disappointed. I didn't think that you would be this self-centered.
What? How dare you? This is all your fault anyway. You're the one that insists on working when I want you to stay home.
What?
My parents have been pestering me about getting a divorce. They don't like the fact that you haven't been taking good care of me.
Really? You mean that women belong in the house and not outside working? What kind of backroad 1950s thinking is that? Your job doesn't pay that well in the first place. There's no way we could survive on your salary alone. I work so that I can support this family. I never said that I quit working after I got married in the first place. No one does that anymore, Phil.
Don't talk back to me. Are you forgetting I'm the one that has the deed for your father's house?
What? How did you get it?
Yeah, I do. It doesn't matter what you say or how much you protest. My word is final. If you keep quiet and just do as I say, then I'll let you live with us. Do you understand? But if not, then you'd better pack your things and leave right now. I'm not gonna put up with your behavior.
Wait a minute. We need to talk about this.
I see how it is. You've made your choice. I don't want to hear another word from you. I'm gonna buy a high-rise apartment for my parents. And I have already decided on this. Don't you dare get in my way.
There's something wrong with you? You're not the person that I married. I'm sure you didn't really think about this in the long term.
There's nothing to think about. Everything is going to go smoothly and it's gonna be great. If you don't like my plan, then you can leave. That's gonna be great for me. I can finally be released from being shackled to you. This marriage is a shame.
I see that your true colors are finally showing.
Hey. I need to tell you this. I'm so happy now.
What's wrong, Phil?
I got quite a large sum of money from selling your father's house. It's more than enough for my apartment. My parents are in there now. So if you don't like it, then you can get a divorce and leave us alone.
Okay. I'll file for a divorce today.
Really? What's a nice thing ever?
I'll have all the papers ready soon. But don't weigh me for whatever happens next.
What happens next? Nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna be living my life without you. You're just a loser.
Right. Hey. Aren't you talking more? Phil.
What, Daisy? What are these people and what are they doing in my home?
I have no idea. What do you mean?
They all came here suddenly and demanded that I open the door. You must have something to do with this. You better tell me the truth.
Not me. But to be precise, it's my brother.
Brother? You have 10 brothers?
I said brother, so just one. You've met Peter before. Why are you playing stupid? I don't think you've met his friends, though.
What on earth? You are responsible. I don't even care about the details. Just make them go away.
I can't do that. Those people have it in for you. They were planning on living in that house that you sold without our permission.
What?
They lost their home, so they decided to go to you. After all, you did use that money to buy the apartment. It makes sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. What is wrong with your brother? It's so odd because even though they invaded this place, they were all so polite about it. I thought that they would be rude.
What? They aren't being rude?
No, they just made a pot of coffee. And they're just sitting in the living room. I don't have time for any of this. I need to leave, but I can't just let them be here. You need to do something.
Why did you tell me that? You can call the police instead. They're trespassing, aren't they? There's good reason for the police to come.
Well, I can't really.
If you told the police, they'll have the authority to do something about it. You better do it quick if you have to go.
No, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Because if you did, you'd have to explain to the police that you stole that deed from me and sold that house without my permission. You'll be the one they arrest for theft.
I'm not a thief. You agreed that I could do it.
I don't remember agreeing with you about anything. Besides, you don't have anything in writing. You stole the deed from the safe that was in the house. You didn't even hire a real estate agent to help you do things legally. You did that without any written consent from me or my father's lawyer.
Well, I thought that no one would notice.
Right, you got the combination to the safe and just took it. My brother was supposed to live in that house. It was left for him, but you stole that from him. So of course you can't call the police. They'll know what you did. They wouldn't even have to investigate that long.
Shut up, Daisy. You're being annoying.
One more thing. You said that you were gonna live there with your parents, but they aren't there. Who's that young woman staying there instead?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't play dumb. Did you forget already my brother's there? He told me about her. Who is that young and beautiful woman? Just tell me. Who's staying with you can't be your mother.
She's the maid. I hired her not long before. You're not here to clean and stuff, so I had to hire someone to do that.
So you're sharing the bedroom with your maid?
I'm not that stupid.
You've been cheating on me. I thought you couldn't get any lower, but here you are at rock bottom.
No, I haven't been cheating. This isn't fair.
Since when do you care about playing fair? You want a divorce because you want to be with her? That's why you kept on pushing for one. That was your plan all along. On top of all that, you used your parents as an excuse. Not only are you a cheater, but you're also spineless. How did I not see it?
Wait. You've got it all wrong.
Oh. Care to explain then? How I get it wrong? Which part of what I said is wrong? You bought that apartment to impress her, right? You thought that she wouldn't be able to refuse your proposal if it came with a high-rise apartment.
What? How did you know that?
Your girlfriend told Peter everything. She wasn't shy about hiding it. Did you think that she wouldn't get back to me somehow? And apparently she's an escort? Is that how you met her? You thought that you'd be able to impress her if you got her a high-rise apartment?
No. Not really.
What do you mean, not really? Then tell me.
Well, you're actually right, but please, this is getting embarrassing. Please forgive me.
Out of all the things that you've done, cheating on me with an escort isn't the worst. I will forgive you, but only on one condition.
What?
You need to give Peter that apartment.
No way, I can't do that.
Fine, then I'll go to the police about this. And I'll tell your company too.
No, you can't do that. We can settle this some other way, but I can't give away the apartment. If I do that, I won't be able to afford alimony or any divorce settlement. You understand that, right?
I definitely know that you can't afford to pay anything. Your salary is way too low. Even with my father's house as down payment, the monthly mortgage for the condo will eat up most of your paycheck. You make even less than I do, and that's what you can't stand, right? Even though my income was what helped you sustain a reasonably good lifestyle. You couldn't stand the fact that a woman made more than you. You're just a small man.
Fine, I admit it. It was my fault. I acted on my impulses. Please, I'm desperate here. I can't give up my house. I'll have nowhere to go.
I'm sure you'll be able to find a closet or a couch somewhere.
I just moved, Daisy. I can't afford to do that all over again. I don't have money for security deposits and all that now. I bought her so many things. I'm up to my eyeballs in credit card bills. I don't have any money.
I know why you're telling me all this. What's your point?
Let's start over, Daisy. Let's pretend that this never happened and start again. We'll cancel the divorce. Everything was my fault. And I'm sorry, but we can still get back together. It'll be great.
You must have hit your head somewhere. That is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. I don't ever want to get back together with you. You and that escort of yours need to get out and find some other place to live.
If she finds out the truth, she'll leave me for sure. She thinks that I'm single, that was what I told her.
How lucky for you that she believed you without any doubts.
I can see that this is going nowhere.
That's right. The only one going anywhere is you and your girlfriend getting out of that house. And by the way, I told your parents everything you've been up to already. So that you don't have to.
What?
Your mom and dad are very unhappy with you. They were so surprised to find out that they had co-signed on the lease. They could be charged with accessory if we press charges. They're also very disappointed that you cheated on me with some escort and bought a house that was beyond your means. You can't seem to stop making such stupid choices? They're ashamed to have you as their son.
You cornered me, Daisy. I can't even go to my parents for help now. God. What am I supposed to do now? I can't go anywhere.
That sounds like a you problem. It has nothing to do with me. The only thing I want you to do is get out of that house as soon as possible.
Wait. You need to give me more time. I need to think about this.
No. You don't have any time left. Just get out. If you don't, I'm gonna start telling everyone else. And there's going to be real consequences to pay if you lose that job. Then you really won't have anything left.
Okay. I'll leave. Just please don't tell my company about this.
I won't as long as you move out of there.
You should keep your word. Daisy.
Don't say anything. Hurry up. After that, Phil moved out of the apartment and stayed in a small motel. But soon ran out of money. At the court, I could defend that he cheated on me, so he was ordered to pay a little extra in alimony. Of course, I wasn't gonna let him off that easily. Without a second thought, I sent an email to his boss and his coworkers. Ironically, his story turned into a hot search in the social media. The company normally didn't want to get involved in scandals, so Phil was fired not long after that. So now I can start a new life with no attachments with what happened in the past.